Richard, you both played on and against the Golden State Warriors team that he's talking about. Does this comparison make sense to you?
100%. Now, before people start, he's not talking about necessarily the shooting, right, of the Golden State Warriors. That's what he's saying. He's saying the ball cutting.
That's all I want to hear you say, RJ.
And the movement. I know, because there's always people like Vince that are going to say stuff like, oh, well, no, but the way these guys moved, especially that 73-win team, their bench was as difficult as their starters when it came to the movement and how they played. And you look at Miami, and if Duncan Robinson ain't hitting, you got Tyler Hero. And then you have Jay Crowder, and then you have Goran Dragic, and they just keep coming with multiple players that can cut, move, shoot, handle the ball, and so it's very, very difficult. And I just want to give a lot of credit to the Miami Heat coaching staff and what they have done and the style of basketball they are playing. It's very, very beautiful and impressive.
And I agree 100% with that. They move the ball extremely well. It's unselfish basketball. If you're open, you're going to get the ball. And they want you to shoot the ball. And guys are buying into that role. I mean, they know when they need a bucket, you get the ball to Jimmy. You get the ball to Tyler Hero. Because let's talk about Tyler. They believe in him and his ability as a young rookie. So when it comes crunch time, they know where the ball needs to go. Outside of that, they need bodies moving to create shots for each other. And they do a great job of that.
Vince, do you think the shooters are going to stay hot for Miami?
Say it one more time.
Do you think that the shooters for Miami who've been doing so well, especially the youngsters like Tyler, Duncan, do you think that they're going to be able to stay hot going against Boston in this next round?
I just hope they don't get caught in the moment. Don't get caught in the moment. Just play your game. And I think Jimmy will make sure that they stay in the moment and continue to play the game. Because one thing you can do is go to your continuity offense, which is ball movement. Just get some movement. And, one thing you tell Tyler Hero and you tell Duncan Robinson, shoot it. Just shoot it and let Bam clean it up from there.
Shoot.
That's it.
I agree, Vince. I agree, mainly because it's like, look at this environment. They're not having to go on the road. That was the one criticism of this team earlier, is that they didn't have enough veterans. And could these young players go out on the road and win a postseason game? So what did Pat Riley do? He goes and gets Jay Crowder. He goes and gets Andre Iguodala. So you add defense, you add offense, you add toughness, you add veterans inside the locker room. And I think that's why these guys are going to continue to play well, because there isn't that hostile environment here.
Yeah, and these guys have talked about the younger guys, about the fact that they're able to answer. There was a moment in the last series where Giannis Antetokounmpo does this great spin move, and Duncan Robinson followed up with a great shot. And he said, look, if we had been in Milwaukee for that, I'm sure the crowd would have been going crazy, and I had been trying to shoot the ball after that, and I would have, probably lost my focus. But in here, it's 12 guys clapping and some noise over the loudspeakers. So it's a shooter's gym, and it's definitely helped the youngsters here for sure. All right, I do want to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks. According to our Adrian Wojnarowski, he was told by Bucks management that they will spend into the luxury tax in order to improve the roster. So, Vince, do you buy that? If you were Giannis, would that be what you wanted to hear and enough of what you wanted to hear?
I do buy it as a superstar and in the face of the franchise. That is comforting. When you sit there and you hear, we're going to spend whatever. Now, you have to follow up on your word, with that being the organization. Now, who do you go get is the question. They have some pieces in Middleton who might be the fall guy in all of this to go get some pieces. But I think for Giannis, he showed, I talked about his social media, him unfollowing everybody but his family and Kobe Bryant. He looks up to Kobe Bryant, and Kobe Bryant was one who wanted to stay in L.A., who did stay in L.A. for all of these years. So I look at him like another Damian Lillard. I want to stay with my team and win and figure it out. So hearing that on top of that is a good sign for Milwaukee, and a good sign that they can keep Giannis, but they're just going to have to go out there and prove that they can bring somebody in.
Well, and then you look at Malcolm Brogdon. They could have brought Malcolm Brogdon back. So all of a sudden you want to save money. But look, can we put up the graphic? Can we put up the graphic? Please, just put up the graphic. You want the Bucks. They want to win a championship. In the last 13 seasons, these are all the teams that have won championships that were in the luxury tax. And let's look at the teams that weren't. The 14 Spurs, they got a discount from Tim Duncan. The 15 Warriors had a bad contract from Steph Curry, like a team-friendly contract. And then the 17 Warriors, they were such a huge spike because of the Nike and TV money that they weren't over the cap. So even those three, they were really over the cap talent teams. So if you were telling me, and you're Giannis, and you're going to commit to this team, and you're going to talk about you're going to commit to this city, and you want to win a championship, the only way to do that is to spend money and spend a lot of it. That's the way you do it in sports. That's the way it's always been done.
And there isn't a big free agent class this offseason, whenever the offseason is, who even knows. But obviously in trades and things like that, you could acquire a lot of salary. There's all kinds of rumors about Chris Paul in Milwaukee that go all the way back to last summer.
It's going to take a lot of work, guys. It's going to take a lot of work to make it all work, because you have to convince somebody to want to go play in that market. It looks positive. They're very close, but it's going to take some work.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting. Richard, when you played in Cleveland with LeBron, was the fact that it was LeBron enough to overcome a smaller market that maybe free agents typically wouldn't consider as much? Did Milwaukee have that same draw with Giannis?
1,000%, because you know what's not a small market? It's a little different. You want to know what's not a small market? The amount of times the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be on television.
Yep.
They're going to be on national television every single night. So when you're talking about a small market, you're going to be playing in front of a home crowd that is going to be sold out. You're going to go on the road every night, will be sold out. You're going to be on national television every single night. The only thing is that you have to live in Milwaukee. And I'll tell you what, I went to Cleveland and I re-signed in Cleveland. Why? Because I wanted to win championships. So you want to get these guys and make sure that they understand that, look, we might be a small market as far as our city size, but our presence wherever we go and on television is going to be very, very high.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.